Hello YouTube land. I managed to get the video ready because the power's just come on. So yeah, it's blowing a gale. Well, not a gale, but reckons it's gusting to 48, something like that. Which I don't know because I've got no wind instruments and I'll be setting off without wind instruments. So I'll just have to rely on my wealth of knowledge to know like when I need to reef and stuff. Yeah, this week engine goes back in. I mean, you know it's back in because you saw me driving the boat, but this shows me doing it, or some of it. So that is that. There was something else really witty that I was gonna say, but I forgot it. Pretend I cracked a joke. Roll the intro. Oh look, an empty cockpit. Behold, our engine. It's in, well it's not in. I've just put it, it's just sat there. I've not put it in the right place. You can see it's not joined up at the back or anything, so what I'm going to do is, excuse me, the coupler is all the way back, so the prop's touching the rudder at the minute. I'll push the engine back a bit and then get it in about the right place. Excuse me again. And then pull the coupler onto it, just get one bolt on it, then push the engine back, get some bolts in the mounts, and then do all the jiggery pokery with the alignment, because it's got to be aligned left to right like that, so it's in the center, and then the yaw as well, and then the pitch as well. Fore and aft doesn't really matter. That fore and aft is the only dimension I don't have any play in, but I have that play in the coupler. But all the holes are in exactly the same places, so there shouldn't be an issue. In terms of height wise, that sort of pitch, the original mounts just had two washers in them on top of the mounts, and then straight onto the engine holdy-onny bits, and I've just replicated that, so it should be near enough. I can always adjust it slightly as I go, so yeah, I'm not filming it, so there. It's only an update, isn't it? The mounts are on, apart from just that back bolt down there that you can't see. Quick look at the alignment and she looks all good. The R&D coupling is touching at all 4 points, apart from the bottom, which is about, say, 0.5 mm off, but I think the engine might be slightly higher. I've not taken it all out to reduce it again because, well, I'll probably just tell you, this engine is basically for this journey going to be a generator, really, and an emergency engine. I'm going to have the outboard on the back. I don't know why I'm pointing there because I've not fitted it. Outboard on the back, so my modus operandi will be to warm this engine up before I leave the dock, and the outboard, do all the manoeuvring, leave this running, just ticking over or just above tick over so there's not too much vibration, and leave the dock and get out there on the outboard. And then if the outboard fails, I can knock this into gear and go where I want. So yeah, I'm not overly concerned about this engine. She's just an emergency. So yeah, I'll get the coupler fastened up, check the continuity again to the prop shaft. I'm going to take the exhaust elbow off because it's all coked up inside, so I'll clean all that out before I put everything back on. And yeah, fasten everything up. Fuel system, so I'm waiting on some marine... Can I hold that like that? Does that work? I don't know what you can see. I'm waiting on some, I've not got my hat on, some Marine 16 fuel additives, one for diesel bug, one for injector cleaner, and one for the just put in your tank sort of preventative sort of stuff. So I reckon there's about 10 litres in the tank, something like that. I'm going to add the injector cleaner and the diesel bug stuff. So it's not the stuff that kills the diesel bug and makes it sink to the bottom. it makes it combustible, so it'll go through the engine and burn up. Run that, oh, it's starting to rain. Run that 10 litres through, just leave the engine running over the course of a couple of days until it's nearly empty, then clean the bottom of the tank, fill it back up with all the good stuff, and then change all the filters and have another set of filters with me just in case. Yeah, it's a plan anyway, see what happens. Et voila! She's in, aligned, beautiful, gorgeous. Everything on boats takes longer than you expect. Literally all I've done is tighten up 8 of those and these nuts, and it's probably taken 40 minutes just because of access. And if you look, because of where that sort of cone thing is on top, you just can't get a socket on. So you can't come in from the top and do it. You've got to try and get in with a spanner and fiddly faffery about. But yeah, she's in. Next, I suppose attached everything back to it, bleed the fuel. So yeah, that's another bloody update for you. An exhaust elbow. Look at that. This engine has not been running very well. I've just not had anything done to it in a long time. Besides the camera down there. Yeah, so better get to getting that out, Anna. The there it comes out of the block is quite scummed up as well, but there's not much I can do about that for the time being. But it's obviously going to be a slight restriction to flow, but I might not be able to achieve full RPM, so what? It's not going to kill it. Yeah. Better go and clean that bugger out, Anna. Update number C. She's in. So I've white and blue cable it was for the temperature sensor. Electrics are back in. Starter thing is back in. That isn't a leak, that's just silicone grease. Stop cable, throttle cable, fuel cables, no exhaust elbow. I cleaned it out, which was completely unnecessary because it turns out it's double skinned and there were hardly anything in it. So now I've got to wait for a new gasket. Anywho, electrics, gear change cable, the earths are back on down there, couplers in. She should be grand. I'll probably have to bleed the fuel, but yeah, there she blows. With a bit of luck, you'll see her running at some point in the very near future. But probably not, because something will have gone wrong. Yeah. She's alive! So, anchor. What I've done is laid it all out there to go back in. So what I'm going to do is pass this old gash bit of stuff down and connect this to the bitter end so that this loop is long enough to come out of the anchor chute thing, so that if I ever need to leave the anchor behind, if it's jammed and I need to get out of there, I can just undo this bowline, put a fender or something through the eye splice and just ditch it and pick it up later, rather than having to cut the anchor rod itself. So this will just be a sacrificial little bit that's attached to the bitter end and will stick out that hole. Yeah, that's a theory anyway. Yeah. And back up in the anchor locker, which is now all
painted and treated all the rust and everything. So this is a completely oh, it's still a bit tacky, damn. It's completely tanked area, so it can't get wet. That is that old gash bit of rock coming through. I'll tie that off and then pull the anchor through. Yeah, I'm not videoing it because I've had to sausage in here and I can't move. Et voila! One anchor locker. I'll run a new pipe up to the front eventually, but it is draining, it's just slow. So there she is, all new spangly dangly chain. Sweet.
Et voila, that is that for another week. Just a little faffery video. The next video is going to be even more faffery, I imagine. But we'll see. Weather's improving, it's gonna rain. I need somewhere to rest my hand. It's gonna rain tomorrow, but the wind drops off, and then next week is all nice and sunny, which means I can do all my little bits of snaggly jobs, which is a loose connection on the nav light up front, but that's in the actual nav light, so I can just strip that back and do it. Run a new wire to the nav light at the back, sort out the bulb in the steaming light, put on an outboard bracket on the back, so I've got a spur engine. Thanks again to Stephen who sent me an outboard. That's it really, I think. Well, secure the leisure battery. Then just empty the boat, get everything out of it, store it all in my car, get the stuff out of my car that I'll need, and then set off. Yeah. So I'm going to have company when I set off, because my first little leg will be from here to the Hamble River, which somebody will be joining me on, I think, if it all pays out, if it all works out, pays off, whatever it is. And then I'll do another leg over to Falmouth, which will probably be a day and a night. So I may set off at night, arrive in the day, I don't know, I'll figure something out. Yeah, and then after that probably there's an anchorage just before Land's End where I can hide out if the weather's not right. If not, I'll just go straight round. I fancy going to Lundy maybe, or I may just straight shot it across the Bristol Channel opening in the country bit towards South Wales, maybe even Ireland. I don't know, I can go where I want. It's a sailboat, isn't it? Sails. So yeah, that's me just talking nonsense for a bit. Thank you to my new Patreon subscribers. I'll put your names somewhere, maybe there. I don't know. If you wanted professionalism, you'd be watching somebody else, wouldn't you? God, can you hear that? That's not my halyard, by the way. Mine are all tied back and out of the way. There's one guy on the other side of the marina. He clearly doesn't live on the boat because he'd go insane. But man, his halyard's loud against his mast. And he's a good, like, 40 or 50 metres away from me, and it still wakes me up. But, waffling, aren't I? This was a short video until I've spent the best part of 3 minutes waffling. Right, see you later. That's the bloody culprit. Gosh darn you.